Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Election Day is this Tuesday. What you need to know before you head to the polls.
Casino gambling in the state is getting mixed reactions. How the governor feels about his decision and what he plans to do about possible increase in gambling addictions.
Plus, community policing is back in business. How local officials feel about it in just minutes.
And Halloween has come and gone once again. How you can keep the Halloween spirit alive all year long.
And it's all straight ahead on this edition of Marlborough This Week. Hello everyone, welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. Election night is fast approaching, and all voters head to the polls this Tuesday. So here are your candidates for the mayor's seat and the councilor at large positions and what they want you to know.
My name is Nancy Stevens, and I'm the mayor of the city of Marlborough, and I'm running for re-election. I am proud of the accomplishments of my administration, and I'm looking forward to meeting the challenges that we will face together in the next 2 years.
For the last 11 years, I've been serving the city of Marlborough as a police officer. I've decided to run for mayor for many reasons. I believe honesty and hard work can make a difference. Given the chance, I will bring respectability and accountability back to the mayor's office.
I serve on the Finance Committee and the Operations and Oversight Committee, and I'm currently chair of Legislative and Legal Affairs. I look forward to discussing tonight not only my many accomplishments, but also the issues and challenges facing the city of Marlborough over the next 2 years.
Representing Marlborough residents on education, environment, multiculturalism, and all those things that make us a healthy community is why I'm running for councilor at large.
I would ask you, as they will, to support me to represent you for the next 2 years, to continue to be your city councilor at large, to continue to make Marlborough a better place to live.
And I'm seeking re-election because I know that my experience, my drive, and my determination is something that the residents of Marlborough deserve.
I look forward to focusing on things like education, and preserving the integrity of the neighborhoods in Marlborough.
There are many important issues facing the city of Marlborough, and I welcome the opportunity to have a productive exchange of ideas on how to make our city a better place to live, work, and raise a family.
Here are your candidates vying for a school committee seat in ward positions.
For the past 12 years, I've served as a member of the school committee working to ensure the success of students in Marlborough are prepared to meet the needs of an ever-changing world and workforce.
I think that Marlborough Public Schools addresses the needs of special education students as well as, if not better than any other district in the Commonwealth. We need to bring the same level of attention to students of all abilities.
I'm running for school committee to bring my broad-based political experience and experience in policy as well to the city of Marlborough. I do think we have excellent schools here, but I think working together we can put Marlborough on the map for excellence in education.
My various life and business experiences are directly applicable to the school committee, striving to satisfy all of the needs of the district while balancing the economic issues of funding for the entire city.
Marlborough will continue to face many decisions and challenges over the next decade. What I pledge is to maintain an open mind, to encourage more Ward 7 residents to participate in some of the decisions that confront us.
People in this city are concerned about things that affect our city, our roads, our school systems, and I want to connect the people with their city government.
My record is a record of promises made and promises kept. I promised when I ran 4 years ago that I would be your fiscal watchdog and I would work to keep city spending under control, and I've done that.
Based on my experience in successfully navigating the city through these difficult fiscal challenges, you can count on me to continue asking those difficult questions of department heads and the mayor to ensure that the city remains fiscally responsible.
I really feel that with my 30 years of experience in the school department, most of it involving around finance, that I have a good handle on the city finance.
The 2-minute closing speech is not time enough to state all the things that I have done as your Ward 4 city councilor. But I think you get the message. When you call me, I am there.
It is an opportunity to inject a new voice and a new vision into a city council that is grappling with the issues of rapid social change.
I'm running for the city council so I can be a voice for the residents of Ward 4. Please remember that your vote is your voice, and I will bring that voice to the city council.
Now, as Steve said, your vote is your voice, so please get out there and vote. If you still have not seen the debates that took place this past month, please educate yourself. We will be broadcasting the debates in their entirety on Channel 10. Check your local listings for times.
Well, with new voting machines for this year's elections, getting familiar with them and making sure they are ready for Tuesday night is on the top of the list of things to do at City Hall. On Tuesday, your city clerk, Lisa Thomas, among others, tested every voting machine and memory card twice.
We're inserting 50 ballots in each machine, and there are 2 memory cards per machine, one being the regular memory card and one being the backup. So naturally, we're testing everything. It's necessary because we want to ensure that elections run very smoothly.
All machines have to be tested prior to the election to make sure the ballots are printed correctly and the program is counting the ballots the way they're supposed to be counted. Marlborough's purchased a couple of backup machines in case of the event the machine goes down.
I find these machines a lot smaller, a lot easier to handle than the others were. They seem to be less complicated as far as the mechanism of the machine itself, right? So that on the overall picture, I think it is a better machine. The other machines were getting old. We had had them for approximately 18 years or so, and the mechanism was wearing out. The company informed us that they would no longer be able to replace parts and that they could not program the machines anymore. So this is what forced us to invest in these new machines.
After this process today, I feel very prepared for Election Day.
Well, if you are a registered voter and you aren't sure where to go on election night, log on to the city's website for more information. That's at marlborough-ma.gov.
Well, a Milford woman was killed on Wednesday when her minivan went off the road on Interstate 495. 32-year-old Donna Howard was pronounced dead at the scene at 2:39 p.m. Marlborough Fire Department and EMS personnel responded and used the Jaws of Life cutting tool to free the woman from the wreck. The crash is currently under investigation.
Well, new this week, House lawmakers heard that casinos could increase the number of gambling addictions in Massachusetts. This comes in the wake of Governor Deval Patrick's casino gambling plan. The governor recently visited Marlborough, and here's what he had to say concerning the issue.
It's a tough issue for a lot of people. I understand that. There are serious issues and serious questions raised by the folks on the other side of the question. I've tried to strike a balance, and I've tried to do this in a way that takes account of our opportunities to grow this economy. You know, 20,000 jobs and $2 billion in economic activity, new economic activity, is nothing to sniff at. You can't dismiss that out of hand. And I think any governor who is taking seriously his or her responsibility to expand opportunity has got to be looking at options like that too. We don't say you can't drink. We tried that once in America and it didn't work. What we do say is that we have to have programs to deal with people for whom gambling is not harmless entertainment, and that's what we're intending to do.
Community safety for the city has been enhanced through the restoration of community policing. Officer Tony Evangelos was joined last week by Officer Patrick Hogan in the daily responsibility of patrolling the city's downtown and French Hill neighborhoods. A press conference was held with the mayor, city councilors, and members of the Marlborough Police Department to support this initiative.
Community policing has been a priority, the restoration of this program, with the City Council and my administration over the last 2 years. With the cooperation of the City Council in funding additional revenue sources and salary reserve in order to make sure that we have positions are filled in a timely manner, we've been able to restore this valuable program to the city. Community policing officers, along with members of the Code Enforcement Unit, the Building Department, and other city agencies, we'll be working collaboratively together to address the root causes of some of the quality of life issues that have plagued this area, this neighborhood, for far too long. It's our aim to take back this hill.
French Hill is going through a significant revitalization now, and the presence of Officer Evangelos and Officer Hogan up on the hill is going to have a huge impact.
Community policing has been an effective tool allowing specified police officers the chance to fully acquaint themselves with neighborhoods and residents.
Contractors responsible for the work along Glen Street have angered residents as the dust from the former apple orchard was blowing into residents' yards. Residents along Glen Street contacted Ward 3 Councilor Scott Schaefer on Friday, claiming the contractor is ignoring soil disposal plans. The Gutierrez Company has agreed to stop working until the City Council meets next Wednesday.
Councilors are upset due to the refusal to accommodate handicapped people at their proposed condominium project at the Old State Armory. Developer Ming Wang has now told city councilors that the 12 proposed units has been cut down to 11, meaning that a handicap accessible unit would not be required. The announcement has stunned councilors, and the topic will be discussed once again at the next meeting, which will be held on November 13th.
A contractor has agreed to terms for a sidewalk construction project on Hemingway Street that will begin in spring of 2008. Officials say the cost, however, is more than originally expected. According to the Marlborough Enterprise, Ronald Lafreniere told the City Council on Monday night that the lowest bid came in at just above $234,000. The price is more than $100,000 above what the city set aside for the construction project.
On Tuesday, a notice was received from the Massachusetts Department of Revenue Division of Local Services stating that cities' available funds, or free cash, has been risen. Just over $5 million has been certified as of July 1st, 2007. This figure represents an increase of almost $2 million above the FY06 number of just over $3 million. The mayor states, "I would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank the city's finance team for their excellent work in closing the city's books."
Halloween has passed, and once again numerous witches and warlocks took over the neighborhood. What we're left with is mounds and mounds of candy. To ensure that children maintain good health as they gobble down the sugary treats, here are some tips to keep them safe and how you can avoid a sugar rush. First, when in doubt, throw it out. Inspect candy for tampering and only give children wrapped treats. Place candy in a place where you can control it and allow only a few pieces each day and store the rest in the freezer. And I'm sure there's a lot of Halloween candy just in everyone's houses these days.
Oh yeah, but we need to control it.
That's right.
Control that candy.
If you can. All right, well, coming up next on Marlborough this week, an alternative to high school that's turning the heads of some local officials.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Middle School has participated in the Akaruno Student Cultural Exchange Program since 1994. Now this year, 3 girls and 3 boys arrived here in Marlborough on Monday and are being hosted until November 6th. Rob O'Keefe has more.
Since the summer of 1994, students from Akaruno City, Japan have been traveling to Marlborough to sample some of our American traditions, even some of those we would like to forget. Arriving on October 27th, the students will spend a week and a half in Marlborough with a schedule that is far from empty.
Friday will be a typical day. We'll eat at Bumpy's on Main Street. Then we'll head to the Harvard Coop, which they absolutely love down Cambridge. They'll buy it out, anything with Harvard on it. And then we're heading back to Fenway Park. They have some more jackets they want to buy.
Other highlights of the visit include dinner at Coral Seafood, a tour of Marlborough Middle School, and a special City Council presentation.
We are giving a gift to the Akaruno City Library, so that we're asking them to take it back and present it to the library. It is history books on the city of Marlborough, so it's with great pleasure that we as a city present to our sister city books of our history.
So I think it's a wonderful program. It's great for kids, it's great for the school, and it's great for the city of Marlborough.
Although some words may be lost in translation, there is one theme that has stayed with the exchange program. Being able to understand our differences can make the world a better place.
If we are apart in the US and Japan, we can't understand each other well, but when we come here or when the Marlborough students come to the Japan and communicate directly, we can understand each other more and more.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Rob O'Keefe.
An alternative high school is being offered and has been for quite some time at the Hildreth School. With expansions in the works, the program is getting a bit more attention from local officials who say this program is just refreshing to see.
Known as the alternative high school in the city of Marlborough, has been around since 1994, but with expansion in the works and a different caliber of students, it's beginning to turn heads.
I've been at the high school for 15 years as an administrator. This program's been around for almost 12. But a real different program now than it has been in the past. One of the things that I think we're really fortunate about is that we're one of the few high schools in this area that has an alternative program. And we now have really formalized it to really be an alternative high school that mirrors and looks like what we have at the high school.
Some students are dealing with disciplinary issues, but the majority of the students are kids who just don't fit at the high school for their own personal reasons. The goal of the program is simple, and for many, this program is saving their school careers.
Our goal is graduation. I know our goal is graduation for all of these students. And many of these students have even told us that if it wasn't for this program, they would have dropped out of school.
Graduation is expected, but as Mary Carlson states, they're raising the bar even higher and are asking kids to look at a two-year college, really look at their future and use the teachers in this program to plan their careers.
And to help them set a vision or a goal for at least what are they going to do when they get out of high school, which so many students haven't believed in themselves that they could do that.
Wayne Labby, the program director of the Phoenix program, says he's here for every student at any time.
I do whatever I can, and that's in school as well as out. I mean, if it helps them, means being a personal reference, helping them get a job, get into college. You know, our staff, that's what we're here for.
At the recent school committee meeting, Wayne gave the committee an update on how the program's doing and how far they've come.
Very proud of what you've allowed us to become with your assistance, and I hope to get that across to you a little bit today about where we started and where we are today and what we're offering the youth of Marlborough.
Two brave students of the Phoenix program came to the meeting as well to express their thanks for this amazing gift.
I'm Nick Martin. I'm a senior at the Phoenix program, and I probably wouldn't be if it wasn't for the Phoenix program.
Mr. Labby's great. All the teachers are great. You could talk to either one of them, the nurse, the counselor, the art teacher, anyone. All the teachers are great.
Mayor Nancy Stevens and school committee member Robert Seymour, touched by the presentation, took a moment to express how they felt about Wayne's dedication to the program.
We sit here, and some of us have sat here for a lot longer than others, but every meeting we sit here, I think we sometimes forget what's written on the walls behind us. This presentation is exactly that. Ensure the success of each student. It absolutely says everything tonight.
I just want to tell you how wonderful it is that you come before us and you bleed your compassion and I think your love and appreciation for the kids who you teach. It's great to see, and you know what we saw here tonight is a great example of that. And the two students you brought with you, good for you coming for us. It's very helpful for us to understand. Keep up the good work, all of you.
I've been doing this 12 years, and what I hope for all my students, all our students, is success. And whether it means college, whether it means a career which you enjoy, family, I wish them success.
Well, still to come on this edition of Marlborough This Week.
Will the Panthers wrap up a league title and a spot in the Super Bowl? Stay tuned for details.
And coming up next, the city's fight against cancer continued this week through Marlborough Hospital's Food for Life classes.
That's right. In this week's Power Minute, I'm going to show you how easy it is to stay healthy and cancer-free. But first, this message.
Hi, this is firefighter Mark Asenko with a fire safety tip for you. All too often, we tend to be distracted while cooking in our kitchen. Neighbors coming to the door, or your telephone is ringing. Unattended cooking can cause fires. Here's a tip for you. Purchase yourself a timer. And there's also a neck timer. This timer is good because if you get distracted or leave the room, you will have the timer with you around your neck. You can purchase these timers at any local hardware store. So when timing is everything, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. To continue Marlborough's crusade against cancer, Marlborough Hospital has been offering the city with cancer-fighting food classes. Now, these informative sessions feature local chef Rose Lee, who has been teaching over 35 years. Rose taught all who participated how easy it is to make delicious dishes that can help you fight against cancer and prevent cancer. Only 1 out of the 4 classes are left. At this time, there is no more room, but do continue to call because some people may drop that last class. The classes run back-to-back from 6 to 8:30 in the Marlborough Hospital Leahy Conference Center. To see if there's any more room to squeeze in, please call 508-486-5805.
Well, in case you were unable to attend these informative food classes, we thought it would be a good idea to clue you in on the major points that were discussed in the class over the past 3 weeks.
Welcome to this week's Power Minute. Now don't worry if you're just hearing about these Food for Life classes, because in this week's Power Minute, I'm going to show you how to break down the 4 food groups they suggest to eat for a long and healthy life. Take a look. Many of us grew up with the USDA's old basic 4 food groups, first introduced in 1956. The passage of time has seen an increase in our knowledge about the importance of fiber, the health risks of cholesterol and fats, and the disease prevention power of many nutrients found exclusively in plant-based foods. A vegetarian menu is a powerful and pleasurable way to achieve good health. The vegetarian eating pattern is based on a wide variety of foods that are satisfying, delicious, and healthful. We have also discovered that the plant kingdom provides excellent sources of the nutrients once only associated with meat and dairy products, mainly protein and calcium. The USDA revised its recommendations with the Food Guide Pyramid, a plan that reduced the prominence of animal products and vegetable fats. But because regular consumption of such foods, even in lower quantities, poses serious health risks. Food for Life classes concentrate on 4 food groups: fruit, legumes, whole grains, and vegetables. Fruits are rich in fiber, vitamin C, and beta-carotene. Be sure to include at least 1 serving each day of fruits that are high in vitamin C. Citrus fruits, melons, and strawberries are all good choices. Choose 1 whole fruit over fruit juices, which don't contain very much fiber. Legumes, which is another name for beans, peas, and lentils, are all good sources of fiber, protein, iron, calcium, zinc, and B vitamins. This group also includes chickpeas, baked and refried beans, soy milk, tempeh, and texturized vegetable proteins. Whole grains include bread, rice, pasta, hot or cold cereal, corn, and tortillas. Build each of your meals around a hearty grain dish. Grains are rich in fiber and other complex carbohydrates, as well as protein, B vitamins, and zinc. Lastly, vegetables. Vegetables are packed with nutrients. They provide vitamin C, beta-carotene, riboflavin, iron, calcium, fiber, and other nutrients. Dark green leafy vegetables such as broccoli, collards, kale, mustard, and turnip greens are especially good sources of these important nutrients. Dark yellow and orange vegetables such as carrots, winter squash, sweet potatoes, and pumpkin provide extra beta-carotene. Include generous portions of a variety of vegetables in your diet all the time. Try the new 4 food groups and discover a healthier way to eat and a healthier way to live.
When the Panthers walked onto the field in Shrewsbury last week, they had one thought in mind: win. Knowing that a win over the Colonials would place the Panthers in the playoffs, Sean Mahoney was willing to pull out all the stops. The outstanding playing field at Shrewsbury High School, where the home team got a packed crowd excited early by turning a fumble kickoff into 7 points and an early lead. Late in the first, the Panthers offense moved downfield and tied the game when George Jordan caught this 15-yard pass from Josh Carter. The Panthers defense got into the act in the second quarter. Check out defensive back Graham Mason on the blitz, rocking the Colonial quarterback. Shrewsbury would take a 14-7 lead late in the second quarter, but then attempted an onside kick. The plan would backfire on the last play of the half. Carter drops back and watches perfectly placed ball between 3 defenders into the hands of never-nervous Irvin Purvis for the score. The crowd is stunned, and the Panthers were within a point at the half. More spectacular plays were ahead in the fourth as Jordan catches his 2nd touchdown of the day while falling down. Watch again as Jordan, who finished with 7 catches and 119 yards, trips over the defender but manages to stay focused on the pigskin. You won't see a better catch on Sunday. Carter then found A.C. Carter for the conversion in a 7-point Panther lead. The Colonials tied the game on the next drive. You just can't give a quarterback this much time, and eventually he finds Paul Tizzano for a 56-yard score. On the ensuing possession, Carter, who passed for 216 yards and a career-high 4 touchdowns, but had trouble running the ball, gets stripped and loses the ball. 3 plays later, Alex Alvarez scores for the 3rd time, and the Colonials lead 28-21 with just 4:11 left in the game. Now, if you know anything about the Panthers this year, you knew the game was far from over. Starting from their own 20, the Panthers marched downfield. Big play coming on a 4th and 9 from the 37-yard line. Carter looks to Jordan, who in this game proved that he is the best wideout in Central Mass, for a 35-yard pickup, moving the ball to the 2. Then, on the next play, Carter finds Tyler McElman for the touchdown. Down by 1 with 30 seconds left and on the road, Mahoney decides to go for the 2 points and the win. The play call is similar to the touchdown, with McElman going inside this time, but the throw is a second late and intercepted. The Colonials hold on for the win and take control of the lead. The Panthers now need a win over Doherty this week and for the Colonials to lose 2 of their 3 remaining games. There is no secret to what the Aztecs are going to do on the football field. It's just up to the opposition to stop them. Well, for the 7th straight week, nothing could stop the Aztec machine as they plowed their way to a 36-0 win over Monty Tech. The game was never close, with the Aztecs leading 24-0 at the half on a pair of touchdown runs by James Mahoney and one from Nick Johnson. In the second half, Dave Parker added his 8th touchdown of the year. The Aztecs will have a chance to clinch a league title and a playoff berth this week with a win over Baypack. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rosenau. We'll see you at the game.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And now let's head on to the animal of the week.
That's right. Let's head over to Gina. She's at the animal shelter in Sudbury with our animal of the week. Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we're here with Lucky, also known as Lucky 2, because he's the second Lucky that we have at Buddy Dog. And he's a half Bichon and half miniature Schnauzer. And as you can see, he's very active. He's going to need to go to doggy school, but he doesn't shed. He's good with children, and he has lots and lots of energy. So if you're looking for a really friendly, active family pet, maybe Lucky could be for you. Right, Luck? If you're interested, please call Buddy Dog at 978-443-6990.
Well, still to come on this edition of Marlborough This Week, a reminder about Sunday that you don't want to miss.
But first, a look at your local forecast. We just want to remind you that the annual Evening of Giving is on its way once again. Thanks to this annual event, the local homeless shelter Roland's House receives a major boost every year.
Well, it has been dubbed the social event of the year. Everybody in town is there. It's a lot of fun. For your $30, you're helping multitudes of people. You're having a fantastic time, and you're seeing everybody from the city.
The event is set for November 15th at the Royal Plaza Hotel from 7:30 to midnight. Tickets are $30 each or $300 for a table of 10. Money well spent.
Yes, great cause to get involved with there.
Yes.
Now let's take a moment to see what else is happening around town. So here's a look at your community calendar.
Before we go, we just want to remind you that it's time to fall back once again. Daylight savings time ends this Sunday, which means that you need to set your clocks 1 hour behind. In addition, Marlborough firefighters state this is an excellent opportunity for you to change the batteries in your smoke detectors. Fire officials are always encouraging citizens to maintain a working smoking detector in their homes at all times.
Yes, it's already that time of year again.
It's crazy.
It
Time
is.
flies.
It does. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Christy Doucette. We'll see you again next week.
Bye now.
following program is provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax.
Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Election Day 2007 has come and gone. How the night went and final results in just minutes.
Plus, the weather proved to be a deterrent in this year's election as voter turnout was less than impressive. What your city clerk has to say.
Plus, a sneak peek into all the work it takes to tabulate all your votes on election night.
And does handshaking at the polls really work? The answer is coming up.
And it's all straight ahead on this edition of Marlborough This Week. Hello everybody, welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. It was a good day to be an incumbent in the city of Marlborough this past week as elections hit the city. The city's biannual municipal election was held this past Tuesday as voters decided whether to re-elect Mayor Nancy Stevens or to replace her with challenger Patrick Hogan. More than 1/3 turned out to the polls, and here's a recap of how it all went.
From 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., voters turned out to the polls. As results rolled in, WMCT was there to deliver live coverage as winners became available to the public. Kristen Doucette and Maurice Lewis co-hosted the event with exclusive interviews by your elected candidates. Unofficial results were presented earlier in the night. Several candidates, including the mayor, stopped in to share their thoughts on those early predictions.
I just want to thank the people of Marlborough. This really is an overwhelming and humbling experience for me. You gave me the opportunity 2 years, and you came back and told me I was doing a good job and are giving me another 2. And I thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for your faith and trust in me to run this city. And it really is my pleasure to do it, so thank you.
At around 10 o'clock, election results were final. Your winning candidates are as follows. When all was said and done, your city clerk, Lisa Thomas, comes clean about the night.
I think the night went very well. Sometimes the process can get a little slowed by just simply validating the numbers, but as they came in with their envelopes, we quickly validated their amounts, and then we transferred them onto the spreadsheet and obviously called out the numbers to the press. It's a hurry up and wait game. The polls closed at 8 o'clock, and we had to sit here and wait until we received the envelopes.
Election Day has come and gone, and the rainy weather proved to be a deterrent last Tuesday as voter turnout deemed disappointing. Although only 34% of the city's registered voters went to the polls in the city's general election, it's a similar number to recent city elections. According to Celeste Wright, head clerk of the city elections, in 2005, 36% voted. In 2001, 30% voted. Although those numbers are certainly not enough, the head city clerk states we're doing better than most communities at this time.
Thought it would be somewhere in that area, perhaps a little bit lower. I know that as a whole, the councilors were probably a little bit disappointed in the numbers. It ended up being about 34% of the registered voters in Marlborough actually voted, but comparatively speaking, Newton had 17%, Boston had 11%, and I know Worcester had 23%. So obviously we did better than those 3 communities.
Election Day is quite a task for numerous city officials. Whether you're a candidate, a city clerk, or a voter, many things need to get done in a short amount of time. Our very own Kelly McLaughlin found out exactly how the city clerk's office gets it all done.
After the polls close at 8 o'clock, it's time for the votes to be tabulated using new voting machines purchased by the city of Marlborough. All the voting machines are tested ahead of time and on election day are turned to election mode, at which point all counts are official and no more tests can be run.
The machine actually tabulates the votes. When they bring them back to City Hall, we verify that they have gone through the tabulations and that there have been no errors.
The warden and the clerk come to collect the memory cards from all the voting machines, as well as the printout from each of the machines.
We have 18,669 registered voters in the city of Marlborough. Now, if there's any problems during the course of the evening, the voters are encouraged to call us, and also the wardens and clerks have been instructed, should they have any problems with the machines and they're not able to resolve them on the spot, obviously they're going to call and we'll immediately remedy the situation.
When all totals are in, they bring everything back to City Hall.
They also have to check some ballots will not be counted. They have a write-in if they were blank or for some reason.
The cast ballots are emptied into a black box and are put in the vault at City Hall.
They pull out any write-ins. They have to hand count those, and then those counts are added to the sheets.
The warden and the clerk bring the list of figures upstairs, where it is then put into a spreadsheet form.
Once we're done, we also have that problem of provisional ballots. If somebody went to the polls, was not on the list, couldn't find them, they have an option. We have a day or two to rectify that with the registry.
The absentee ballots, after they're filled out, come back here to the city clerk's office. We prepare them so that they can go to the respective ward and precinct and be counted during that evening.
Within the next day or two, when all absentee ballots are in, the results become official.
2 out-of-state women were arrested last week at the Courtyard Marriott Hotel. The 2 were charged with sexual conduct for fee. Employees called the police once discovering some suspicious behavior. According to the Metro West Daily News, 59-year-old Gay Garwin and 46-year-old Tara Vaughn were each arrested and were charged with a misdemeanor count of sexual conduct for fee.
On Monday night, planning board members recommended approval for a measure that would give the city more control over a potential casino development. The measure would not necessarily prevent a casino from ever coming to Marlborough, but it would require developers to come before the city twice. The council did not vote on the ordinance, but City Council President Arthur Vigent states that it will be voted on at the November 19th meeting.
Following 2 months of discussion, the City Council voted to accept a gift of $10,000 to replace trees throughout the city. The gift came from developer Robert Valcuis and will be designated for the planting of new trees around the city.
Well, on Monday, the City Council dealt with transfers of $2.4 million to repay part of a major loan taken from the city's rainy day fund. The loan was needed to cover a $3.8 million deficit in the city's healthcare trust fund. Had the city not covered the deficit, the state threatened to withhold certification of the tax rate that year.
Well, on a lighter note, in the light of election week, we wanted to know if shaking hands at the polls really works between candidates and the voters. So we took a time out to find out. Here's Dan Gendon with more.
Candidates for public office work hard for months leading up to Election Day. They debate, make public announcements. They even knock on the doors of their constituents in order to get their campaign signs on front lawns.
You never know how things are going to come out in the end, and with having it raining today, that does bring a little bit of concern, but I know in the end I've just done the best I could do.
My campaign strategy was to knock every door in the ward, and I actually have done that, so I'm really proud of that. I've met a lot of people already.
We did everything we needed to do. So we ran a good campaign, and we'll see what the voters decide.
We did everything we're supposed to do. We did the mailings, we got the lawn signs out, we got people at the polls. I mean, we did our best to get out the vote, made the calls, so hopefully everything's done.
Then comes Election Day. Surely their work is done now. But there they stand, in the rain this year, shaking hands and thanking the voters for coming out to do their civic duty. But does that handshake leading into the polls really make a difference?
I certainly hope that when people get here, they've made up their mind. Obviously, I hope that they're going to be with us, but every little bit helps. And if somebody is coming to the polls and they're not sure and they've seen some good things, they like to see the last-minute effort of somebody willing to stand out here. I mean, the weather's not the best today, so people are, people do like to see that.
So I'm just thanking people. I'm thanking them for taking the time to come out, whether they choose to vote for me or not. It's thanking them for taking an interest in the local politics.
It's always good to do a good handshake, and if you feel confident enough, I think it might mean something.
For new candidates, though, it's about getting the voters to put a face with a name on the ballot.
I think a lot of it is name recognition, but I do think that people do feel better about you if they can put a face to a name.
But for some people, just to let them know who you are, tell them your name, I think that always helps.
And sometimes people don't necessarily put a face with a name, so making that introduction is important.
Some may say that the candidates are also trying to keep busy. After all, For them, this is Judgment Day. They are excited, nervous, and in some cases, both.
I'm a little bit of everything. There's definitely a good amount of nerves that go through this, and but we're ready. You know, we've made our GOTV phone calls. We're ready to get out the vote. We've gone door to door. We've done everything that we think we should have, and our message got out, and people have been responsive. So we're excited.
Obviously, very excited. You work for months, and this is the day. And it's funny. You keep looking at your watch, and you keep saying it's a long day. It's the longest day of your life. But it's exciting.
It really is a fun day. The anticipation, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to get their vote out, so it's a mystery to everyone till after 8 o'clock tonight.
So we found out it worked.
Awesome. That's very interesting.
It is interesting.
All right. Well, now lecture time's over. Coming up next, the Food for Life classes at Marlborough Hospital come to an end, how they all went, and if they'll come back for round 2.
Plus, students at Marlborough High School are looking beyond Massachusetts and are heading to China. Well, mentally, that is. How they're doing it in just a moment.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. To continue Marlborough's crusade against cancer, Marlborough Hospital offered the city with a series of cancer-fighting food classes throughout this past month. The 4 weeks of classes have flown by, and they've sadly come to an end. Now it's time to evaluate the experience.
Our local power food superstar Rosalie chopped for the last time at the final Food for Life class. Well, here in Marlborough, anyway. For the past 4 weeks, Rosalie has guided local residents through the wonderful world of nutrient-packed and cancer-fighting foods. Due to a lack of time, each week Rose taught 2 classes in one night, which resulted in some major body-boosting discoveries. Rose has been a chef for over 35 years and feels this series of classes went very well.
People are really enjoying it and very appreciative, and they like all the information that we offer. All this educational information. They're learning a lot.
The class focused on a vegetarian diet consisting of vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. Rose admits most of her students didn't realize how delicious vegetarian diets could be.
They're surprised vegetarian dishes can be so delicious. And it is delicious and nutritious and good for us.
So what do the residents think?
Rose is very able to bring to life an easy way to get into vegetarian cooking, and most of us are looking for more energy. We have hectic lifestyles, and we're looking at really making wise choices on eating.
I think that, especially given our society with people getting fat and going to fast food restaurants, I think that we really do need to think about different ways of eating. Rose made it look very easy. She chop, and it was done in a minute, so that was exciting. I really enjoyed them, and it seems like the 4 weeks just flew by, and it's all over.
With all the attention lately towards anti-aging foods and a healthier lifestyle, Rose's class couldn't come at a better time.
And then after watching Oprah and Dr. Oz and anti-aging, I know that Rosalie has it down pat.
Marlborough Hospital's Melissa Hodgson did comment that because of the popularity of the class, they are attempting to have Rose come back in the spring. Wondering if Rose will come back and teach again?
Yes, I would love to be back and share more information with this wonderful audience.
This year marks the beginning of the Mandarin Chinese class at Marlborough High School. Administrators say this edition is an effort to round out the school's foreign language program. Now it's only been 2 months, but the class is getting high marks from students and their hardworking mentors.
The new Mandarin Chinese language program at Marlborough High School began earlier this year, and lucky for us, we have an experienced, wonderful teacher to kick it off. This year marks the beginning of the Chinese class, which administrators say is an effort to round out the school's foreign language courses. Frances Cook, who's beginning her first year here in Marlborough, has been teaching Mandarin Chinese locally for about 5 years.
I'm a new teacher in the district. I'm also new to public school education. I've been a Chinese teacher for a number of years, but I've been teaching in the higher ed scene back in my alma mater, University of Michigan, but also here in the Boston area for the past 5 years.
Frances has taught at Boston University and UMass Boston, but now she's looking to expand her horizons as she jumps into public school education.
I've switched to the public schools as a way to, I guess, broaden my impact and reach more students at a younger, earlier stage of learning.
Frances, who teaches 3 sessions each morning, states that Chinese is becoming one of the most commonly spoken languages in the world.
Mandarin, the use of Mandarin on the world stage it's growing. That's really undeniable. Mandarin language education in the public schools is really growing, and the federal government is starting to allot money for that.
Although Chinese may seem a challenging language at first, Cook says it isn't as hard as it looks.
You do not have to be a rocket scientist to succeed in Mandarin. What you do need to do is to be disciplined and to have the time to put into it. And we're hardwired to learn languages, and Chinese is just another human language. So I try to just tap into their curiosity and enthusiasm to get them on the right track.
The class ranges in grades from freshmen to seniors. Frances states that the high school students have been much more open to the language than her college students were. Frances believes that the Marlborough school system has made a wide choice to offer Mandarin due to all the benefits the students will receive by learning the language.
Mandarin Chinese on a job application or on a college application makes a student stand out. They're showing, whoever is evaluating their application that they are a person who is willing to take risks, who knows how to work hard, because if you're going to succeed at Mandarin, you will have to put in the hours, and is intellectually curious. And I think that makes people, will make them stand out. So that's a very tangible bonus for them.
This past week, numerous artists turned in their art pieces to the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library for their 36th annual Regional Juried Art Exhibition in hopes of winning a prize. Paintings, prints, and drawings were all evaluated by 3 judges. First, second, third, and honorable mention prizes were given out during an awards presentation on Monday evening. The public has been invited to enjoy the display currently located at the Marlborough Public Library in the Bigelow Auditorium all week long. You only have 2 days left to see all the amazing art, so be sure to check out your local library. Gallery hours are this Saturday noon to 5 and Sunday 1 to 5.
Well, congratulations to all those winners.
The art is amazing. You have to go by and check it out. It's beautiful.
I will do that. Well, coming up next on this edition of Marlborough This Week.
Panthers look to rebound from a heartbreaking loss, and the Aztecs try to put a lock on a playoff spot. Stay tuned for all the details.
And coming up next, how to turn a heavy pasta dish into a nutrient-packed meal.
That's right. In this week's Power Minute, I'm going to show you how to turn or make over an Italian treat. But first, this message.
Hi, this is firefighter Marcus Senko with a fire safety tip for you. All too often, we tend to be distracted while cooking in our kitchen. Neighbors coming to the door, or your telephone is ringing. Unattended cooking can cause fire. Here's a tip for you. Purchase yourself a timer. And there's also a neck timer. This timer is good because if you get distracted or leave the room, you will have the timer with you around your neck. You can purchase these timers at any local hardware store. So when timing is everything, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Everyone loves a big bowl of pasta every now and then, but plain white pasta can pack some major calories, never mind the extra unwanted carbohydrates. Well, what if you could have that same meal, but have it be loaded with nutrients and fiber? Well, in this week's Power Minute, we're here to show you that you can.
Forget those heavy, energy-zapping pasta meals. Now you can enjoy the Italian treat without the guilt. Instead of using traditional white pasta, use buckwheat pasta. Throw in some tomatoes and spinach and voila, an easy, nutritious meal. First, boil your pasta. It should take about 8 to 10 minutes. Remove the water, add tomatoes, spinach, and a bit of Parmesan cheese, and bon appetit. Tomatoes are an excellent source of vitamin C and vitamin A. These antioxidants travel through the body, neutralizing dangerous free radicals that could otherwise damage cells and cell membranes. In fact, high intakes of these antioxidants have been shown to help reduce the risk of severity of many illnesses. We all know that Popeye made himself super strong by eating spinach, but you may be surprised to learn that he may have also been protecting himself against osteoporosis, heart disease, colon cancer, arthritis, and other diseases all at the same time. Now, buckwheat is a very good source of manganese and a good source of magnesium and dietary fiber. Buckwheat contains 2 flavonoids with significant health-promoting actions. The protein in buckwheat is a high-quality protein containing all 8 essential amino acids, including lysine. Treat all your friends to this healthy Italian treat.
Graham Mason may not be the biggest receiver on the field, but last week he certainly made the biggest impact. The junior was in on 4 touchdowns as the Panthers rolled to a 42-20 win over Doherty. Out to Kelleher Field, where Asam's night got started early. In the first, Asam takes a reverse from A.C. Carter, stops, and uncorks a perfect pass to the streaking George Jordan that covered 78 yards and was an early warning to the Highlander secondary. The Panthers' next touchdown would also eclipse 70 yards, 71 to be exact, with Josh Carter rolling out and finding Asam all alone down the sideline. Carter would set up the next drive with his feet before using his arm for another score to Asam. Asam followed that catch with his 4th catch of the game and his 3rd touchdown, this one 55 yards, giving him a career-high 175 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. The Panthers took a big lead into the half, and the fans were rocking and rolling. In the 3rd, Carter took the game over. The senior completed 9 of 11 passes for 262 yards and 4 touchdowns, returned a pair of punts for over 90 yards, and picked up over 70 yards on the ground. Not a bad day. Devontae Brown capped the Panthers' scoring attack with a 14-yard run in the 4th quarter as the Panthers cruised to an easy league win. To say the Aztecs are on a roll is like saying the Patriots are a good team. It's a gross understatement. Last week, the Aztecs won for the 8th week in a row, dismantling Bay Path 40-12. The Aztecs clinched the Division III East title, and with that, a chance to play in the Division IIIA Super Bowl tournament. Jake Swanson led the Aztecs with 105 yards. Dave Parker added 75 yards and a score. Quarterback Alex Moore rushed for 2 touchdowns, giving him 6 rushing touchdowns on the season. Nick Johnson and Corey Jakes also scored in the romp. The Aztecs will play their final home game of the season against Lunenburg. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rosenau. We'll see you at the game.
All right, thanks, Brendan. Now on to the animal of the week.
That's right. We're heading over to the animal shelter in Sudbury. That's where Gina has the animal up for adoption this week. Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we're here with Princess. And Princess, as you might guess, has a little bit of pit bull in her. We usually don't take pit bulls here at Buddy Dog, but because she was so extra sweet and wonderful with everybody in the family, she's lived with real small children, she's good with other dogs. We did make an exception to the rule, and we do feel that Princess is a good family pet, and she's shown us nothing but affection since she's been here. She's a great dog. She has lots of energy. The only thing that Princess doesn't like is cats. But if you have another dog or children and you're looking for a wonderful family pet, Princess, she's a 3-year-old spayed female. She could be the one. Right, Princess? If you're interested in Princess or any of the dogs we have here at Buddy Dog, please call us at 978-443-6990.
Still to come on Marlborough this week, an annual Evening of Giving is almost here. And it's not too late to buy your tickets.
Yep, we're going to show you how you still get your hands on some, but first, a look at your local forecast.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come 2. They got nothing but the genes, but they got different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody finds a way to shine.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. This Sunday, both Marlborough and Hudson are planning to mark Veterans Day with parades, salutes, and tributes to those who have served in wars. The Marlborough Veterans Day Parade will begin at 10 a.m. at the American Legion on Maple Street and will then proceed up Main Street. The parade will end at 11 a.m. at the Doughboy Monument in front of the Walker Building. The parade will stop at the city's monuments and pay tribute with wreaths, prayers, and military salutes.
Well, Marlborough Rotarians will be holding their 25th annual turkey shoot on Saturday, November 17th. The mega fundraiser will be held at Assabet Valley Tech from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The turkey shoot will offer prizes including gift certificates, gifts for the home, and all the fixings for a complete turkey dinner. Anyone can register at the door for a free television as well. The Marlborough Rotary Club has been serving the youth, charities, and service agencies since 1922, and they're always looking for new members. So for more information, you can visit rotary-7910.org.
The annual Evening of Giving is here once again, which is one of the city's most treasured traditions. On Thursday, November 15th from 7:30 p.m. to midnight, the annual Evening of Giving will be held at the Western Royal Plaza Hotel. More than 1,000 guests from Marlborough and surrounding communities will attend the event. Tickets are $30 each or $300 for a table of 10. You can call Madeline Dupuy at 508-485-5705 to make a reservation. More than $43,000 were raised from last year's event and was given directly to Roland's House to provide services to more than 200 people. $43,000.
A lot of money.
So we have to get out there. I see it every week, but we gotta donate to this.
It's going to be a great event.
Definitely.
Well, now let's take a look at what else is happening around town next week. So here's a look at your community calendar. And that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. We'll see you next week.
This program was provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax. The following program is provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax.
Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, Deval Patrick addressed the city of Marlborough once again this past Wednesday, where he was and what he came to talk about. A re-elected city councilor steps down only a week after being re-elected in an uncontested race, who she is and why she's leaving come January. Plus, Marlborough goes green, how the city is doing it and how you can help. And coming up later in this half hour.
No matter what I say, they just don't like me. And I'm going to have to deal with that.
We have an exclusive interview with your re-elected mayor, Nancy Stevens, as she prepares herself for round 2. And it's all straight ahead on this edition of Marlborough This Week. Hello everyone, welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Dan Corcoran is off this week. Let's begin now with this week's top stories. Governor Deval Patrick visited Marlborough once again on Thursday to share some personal experiences at the Marlborough Chamber of Commerce luncheon in hopes of explaining his motivations behind his current policies. Now, Patrick got personal and of course we were there to capture it all. Kelly McLaughlin has more on our top story.
Governor Deval Patrick addressed the Marlborough Area Chamber of Commerce luncheon at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel on Wednesday afternoon. It was a chance to see colleagues, friends, and a chance to connect with the citizens he leads. A poised Deval Patrick began his speech with a joke to Mayor Nancy Stevens about his fashionably late entrance.
And by the way, Mayor, I was on time, thank you very much. My schedule said be here at noon. I know you had some other business, so just to keep it real.
The governor shared some personal motivations that affect his current policies. To do so, Patrick compared his daughter's upbringing with his own.
I grew up on the south side of Chicago, mostly on welfare. I shared a room and a set of bunk beds with my mother and my sister, so you go, top bunk, bottom bunk, floor every third night on the floor. Catherine, age 5, kindergarten. They're studying the changes in the seasons. She's asked to come home as a part of her homework and explain the 4 seasons to mom and dad. And she then proceeds in accurate and complete detail to describe her several visits to the Four Seasons Hotel in Washington, D.C. She had already traveled on 3 continents. She knew how to use and pronounce a concierge. And she had shaken hands in the White House with the President of the United States. One generation. One generation. And the circumstances of our family have been profoundly changed. And in my case, and I'll bet in a bunch of yours as well, it had to do with great education, great opportunities, and adults who involve themselves at key times.
This comparison demonstrated the need for a focus on education, longer school days, universal pre-K, and free community college or vocational training.
Schools, jobs, and citizenship. That is what we are trying to drive.
According to the governor, his administration has helped create thousands of jobs so far, but he doesn't want to stop there.
We are working toward a goal of 100,000 new jobs by the end of the first term. We're 26,000 jobs toward that goal, new jobs, since by the end of last month. So that is good news.
Patrick's Readiness Project, staffed with 150 education experts, is expected to release its recommendations in the spring.
So we have launched the Commonwealth Readiness Project, a project about making our education system so that it helps our kids be ready for the new society and economy we are becoming.
Then it was on to casinos.
I'm tempted to get into the casino proposal. 20,000 good permanent jobs in the $40,000, $45,000 range on average with benefits. 30,000 construction jobs. You cannot have my job and just give that kind of opportunity the back of your hand.
The governor also shared his feelings about the press.
I see you out there. I love you. Maybe I don't love you, but I respect your role and how important it is that you be a part of our communicating our message and our agenda out to everybody. But I also want a direct relationship between you and your government.
Patrick has made statewide appearances part of his political strategy and is asking every resident, local official, and business leader for their support and participation.
We need your help on these initiatives and on others, and that's where the citizenship part of the agenda comes in. We need your help and your involvement if we're going to move forward on any of these issues.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
At an emotional press conference on Thursday, one of your city councilors gave up her seat. Amongst local officials, friends, and colleagues, Ward 5 City Councilor Maura Navin-Webster held back her emotion and explained why her place in the City Council is sadly coming to an end.
It is with mixed emotion that I stand before you today, surrounded by my family, colleagues, and friends. Over the past 4 years, I have been honored and privileged to serve as your Ward 5 City Councilor, and I am eternally grateful for your support and encouragement over the years. I have been offered an incredible career opportunity and have accepted a position with the American Heart Association beginning in January. The offer was presented on Election Day and came with a requirement that I unfortunately resign from my council seat at the conclusion of the current term.
I, on behalf of the city, want to thank Councilor Webster for her commitment, her dedication, and her service. It is with mixed emotions that I stand here today, not only as her colleague, but as her friend. I would like nothing more to be able to work as a colleague together for a long time, but I've always said to everyone that your family life comes first.
I've really enjoyed it. You know, it has its ups and downs, but this is not how I would have chosen to obviously leave public service. But nothing is forever. This is on one hand, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's such a great great opportunity, and really it's the best decision for my family. We've made some tough decisions on the council. This by far has been the most difficult decision I've made in 4 years because I really have enjoyed representing them and working toward their best interest.
I don't think we've seen the last of Councilor Webster. I think we will be seeing a lot of her, and I thank her again for everything. Congratulations.
Members of the Recycling Committee joined local officials at a press conference on Thursday as awareness was raised on a local level concerning the environmental and economic benefits gained through recycling. The city of Marlborough joined surrounding communities throughout the United States in recognition of the 10th America Recycles Day. This single day is set aside to encourage all citizens to increase their recycle efforts as well as buy products made from recycled products.
As stewards of the environment, every citizen of Marlborough should acknowledge his or her responsibility to reduce, reuse, and recycle by changing habits at both home and work. We must work together to increase the amount of recycled materials kept out of the waste stream, purchase goods made with recycled materials, and educate the next generation.
There's lots of different reasons to recycle. It saves money. Massachusetts residents throw away approximately 1.5 million tons of paper every year. If we recycled only half of that paper, we could save nearly $52 million in disposal costs. To those who already recycle, that's great. Perhaps you can help a friend or neighbor get started. If you don't recycle, why not give it a try? It only takes a little bit of effort, but it makes a big difference. If you look through your house, there's all kinds of things that you can do, and that helps reduce our cost. You're saving money for the city of Marlborough when you do that.
We have a fixed cost for our recycling pickup curbside. We are lucky as a community to have curbside recycling pickup. And everything you recycle takes out of the tonnage that we pay for our solid waste. So you're doing your part to help save the city money too. So I encourage everyone to take the opportunity to recycle.
At another press conference, Mayor Nancy Stevens signed a pledge to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the city, with the mayor understanding the responsibility to control global climate changes lies within each and every one of us. She's now joined 800 other cities worldwide, making sure that Marlborough does its part.
I'm here today with several individuals who have been diligent in their efforts on the local level. Jen Boudry has been committed in directing the focus of a small group of local residents and city employees, including Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder, in completing a comprehensive energy consumption report. This energy audit includes data for municipal, commercial, and residential users of all available energy sources.
I think it's time that we start asking ourselves and each other what we can do to make a difference. And it's good to start looking for solutions at home and at work. For each one of us.
Today, what we're asking the mayor to do is take a pledge. There are 800 cities and towns in the whole world that have done it. There are 40 in Massachusetts. Today will be the 41st to sign that, and it's an important step. And again, it's a policy that says we're going to do our part however we can, in small ways, in large ways.
We encourage all residents to try and conserve water through indoor and outdoor use. On the City of Marlborough's Department of Public Works website, we have some information and tips on water conservation.
So I'm thrilled that we as a city are leading the way, and I ask the residents to do your part. Just as we've talked earlier about recycling, this is just as important, and we ask you to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Santa's helpers have officially entered the city as they have left mailboxes specifically for Santa, of course, in hopes of encouraging all to send off their wish lists. To kick off the Home for the Holidays celebration, a press conference was held on Tuesday. Mayor Nancy Stevens and Marlborough Postmaster Nick Zalikas previewed what's to come for the city during the holidays.
This Christmas season, we're introducing 5 stamps for our residents to use in their mailing. We have the Madonna of the Carnation stamp. We have the Eid stamp representing the Islamic community. We have the Kwanzaa stamp for our African American community. We have the Hanukkah stamp that we're introducing for our Jewish community. And last but not least, we have our beautiful Christmas knit stamps, 4 different knits to show the wintertime, the experience of people having in front of a nice warm fireplace, drinking some hot chocolate. So we try to cover all avenues for our community base here in Marlborough.
So any of our residents, our children can come and drop off letters to Santa, and our great mail carriers are going to pick them up and deliver them.
Right to North Pole, to Santa himself.
The kids, if you're looking to send your Santa letter, make sure you put it in the red boxes throughout the city. And I have a letter that I want to send to Santa.
Fantastic. You'll be our first.
I'll be the first letter sending to Santa, so I'm really excited to be able to put this in. So we hope you all join us, and we hope all the kids mail their letters to Santa.
The Marlborough Junior Women's Club presented a check for $3,500 for the Marlborough Hospital. Now, if you can think back, I told you about a healing garden that the hospital hopes to begin constructing in spring of 2008. Well, this money, you guessed it, is going right to that fund. The large donation represents a portion of the proceeds from the recent fundraiser Dancing with Celebrities Marlborough style. Local community leaders teamed up with dance instructors to compete for the title of the best dance team while raising money for a really great cause. Coming up next, you hear this question all the time, paper or plastic? We'll tell you about one local woman who's hoping you choose neither, her unique campaign to get you to go green. Plus, wondering what an afternoon is like at the Boys and Girls Club? Well, we've got that for you, and why this organization is so important to the local girls and boys of Marlborough. And don't forget an exclusive interview with your newly re-elected mayor. You don't want to miss a minute. Stay with us.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Americans use 380 billion plastic bags per year, and it takes 100 million barrels of oil to make those bags, and most don't even biodegrade in landfills. Well, those stats have shocked one local mom, and she's doing something about it. Jennifer Boudry and Jane Wilson, local residents and advocates, recently caught our eye on WCVB Channel 5 as they participated in a BYOB party hosted by Janet Martin. Bring Your Own Bag party, that is, and it was aimed at raising awareness about utilizing canvas bags when you shop.
Recently, Jennifer Boudry and I visited Janet Martin in Sharon, Massachusetts, and she was having what she calls a Bring Your Own Bag party. She's very involved in outlawing the handled plastic shopping bags that we all get and are familiar with, that we get at the grocery store.
She explained to her senator why it's important to use reusable bags, and he read all of her information and decided to take this information to the governor, and he decided to declare today Reusable Bag Day in Massachusetts. So it's a way to encourage people to use reusable bags.
Green Marlborough has an initiative planned for December, and on the first 4 Saturdays in December, we're going to be distributing free reusable shopping bags at the post office in Marlborough. And we want to make people aware of the detrimental effects that plastic bags have on the environment, try to wean them off the plastic bags and get them to use the reusable bags.
So you're at home thinking, what can you do? Well, stop using those plastic bags and try taking a canvas reusable bag along with you when you shop. This past Wednesday was Reusable Bag Day to remind us all about the waste generated by these disposable items. Sharon suggests that you check out the website One Bag at a Time. It has a lot of great useful information that you'll need as you go green. Well, the Metro West Boys and Girls Club is one of the gems of this community and sometimes can be overlooked. Well, it's overlooked no more as we took our cameras right in the building to see what an afternoon looks like at the club. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West is an amazing place where kids of all ages, races, backgrounds, and beliefs come into play, learn, socialize, and dream, all in a safe and supervised place. The ones who truly can understand and value this statement are the staff and the children of Metro West. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West provides social, educational, physical, and cultural programming for the boys and girls in the Metro West area. The intent of these programs is to enhance the development of children and to prepare young adults to be responsible, productive members of the community.
It gives them a sense of security, number one. It's not the same when your parents say you're going to someone's house and there might not be a friend there. It's just, maybe it could be an adult. So it can tend to be a little boring for them. Here, they come in, number one, they're safe. It's a fun place. They help you with your homework. And there's so many activities going on. Aside from that, there's always a friend that if you need to speak to, they are there, whether it's just a friend from school or staff.
I think it's a great place for them to come after school. They can mingle with different friends. It's just a very positive environment.
So what really happens on a typical afternoon at the Boys and Girls Club?
Most of them get here about 2:40, some get here at 2 o'clock. And from that until 6, there's all sorts of tournaments and activities in the game room of the teen center. There's homework in the other area of the teen center. And we kind of just get through the day. There's a lot of kids. It's a good time. It's an organized chaos. There's a rhyme and reason to everything. If you're kind of new to the club, you walk around, you might be a little intimidated, but once you're here for a couple of days, you figure it out.
The staff needs to be great role models for these kids, and that is exactly what they are. The Boys and Girls Club hits home for many, as this establishment has been a huge part of their lives.
I know growing up, for me, and I can't really speak for them, but I know for me it provided a place to go where I could keep out of trouble. It was a real struggle for me. I had some friends that weren't on the good side of the law at times, and it was a pull. And the club always had that place where I could go and be like, I belong here, I'm accepted here, it's a good place.
So what do the kids think?
I play DDR, Guitar Hero, gym, anything that's here. Watch TV.
If you didn't have the Boys and Girls Club after school every day, what would you do?
I would just stay home and do nothing. The Boys Club really does make a difference in my life.
Like when the gym's called, I go down, play DDR, Guitar Hero, and everything like that.
Did you get your homework done here too?
Sometimes.
So if you didn't come to the Boys and Girls Club, what do you think you'd be doing?
Nothing.
So you're happy to have this place?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these staff members love their job.
I love it because I work with kids. I think kids are everything. You have different personalities, and when you have these smiling faces that come in and say, hello, Annette, every day, and you have 5 or 6 of them clinging on to you, squeezing you, it tells you that your job is being done.
I started going to the club when I was 5 years old, and I'm a lot older than that now, and I'm still here. I've never left.
Marlborough residents cast their votes last Tuesday and re-elected all but one of the incumbents listed in the city's ballot. Mayor Nancy Stevens earned a second term in a landslide, acquiring 70% of the votes. We sat down with your newly re-elected mayor to see how she feels about this exciting and treasured gift she's been given. Nancy, 1 week after, I'm sure you have lots of emotions right now, happy emotions. How are you feeling?
Relieved. Just relieved that we can get back to work. It's been a long couple of months with the election, and I always felt conflicted during the campaign because I was elected by the people 2 years ago to serve out a full 2 years, and I felt like I was taking time away from doing my job to campaign, but I couldn't continue to do my job unless I campaigned and won again. So it was very conflicting the last couple of months trying to balance everything.
What do you feel like you learned in your first 2 years that will ultimately affect your next 2?
I think my biggest lesson was, and it was a hard lesson to learn, is that I can't please everyone, and that there's going to be criticism, and being in the a public figure, there's some negatives that come along with that. People believe it's okay to talk about your personal life, or that's important somehow, and I've realized was a hard lesson to learn, and I need to get a little more thick skin this time in terms of understanding that I can't please everybody, and there's always going to be naysayers out there that no matter what I say, they just don't like me, and I'm going to have to deal with that. And that's a little bit hard for me as a person and my personality to understand and to deal with. But I'm going to have to do it because I'm not going to please everyone all the time.
So to come on this edition of Marlborough This Week.
Panthers and Aztecs played their final home games of the season. Which team will go to overtime? Stay tuned to find out.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
The Panthers found out just how tough Division I can be last Friday when they let Fitchburg into Kelleher Field. Things looked good at the start of this chilly night when Josh Carter completed this 34-yard pass to Graham Mason on the team's first drive. 2 plays later, it was Carter with a nice block from Tyler McElman finding his way into the end zone for a 7-zip lead. The lead would not last for long as the Red Raiders scored 28 straight points to take a commanding lead in the game. In the third, Carter moved the team downfield one last time with this pass to A.C. Carter. Then, it was Carter hitting freshman Kanan Severin, who made a senior-level catch and held on with the hard hit for his first career touchdown. However, that would be it for the Panthers in the scoring department. Carter finished the game with 55 yards rushing and his 13th touchdown of the year and threw for 140 yards. Marlborough will be off until Thanksgiving when they play at Hudson. The Panthers are 6-4 while the Hawks are 5-5. The Aztecs won a great high school football game last week, beating Division III Lunenburg 2014 in overtime. High school overtime is similar to the college, folks, each team starting from the 10-yard line with 1 set of downs to score. If the game is tied after that, they go to as many extra sessions as needed. The Aztecs needed only 1 overtime on this night as they got the ball first and made their possession count. After a 5-yard face mask and a 3-yard run from Nick Johnson, James Mahoney bowled in from the 2 for a 2014 lead. Blue Knights could not move the ball, and Brian Shalene's sack on 4th down finalized the Aztecs' 9th straight win. Tony Fournier, Tim King, and Steve Parker all had picks for the Aztecs, who jumped out to a 14-0 lead behind first quarter touchdowns from Dave Parker and Mahoney. The Aztecs have one more regular season game before the playoffs that start the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rosenau. We'll see you at the game.
Thanks, Brendan. Let's head over to the Buddy Dog Animal Shelter in Sudbury. That's where Gina has the animal up for adoption this week. Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we're here with Harry, and Harry is a purebred Cairn Terrier, and we think he's about 4 years old. He was brought in by a local animal control officer. As you can see, his body has been shaved because he was very heavily infested with fleas when he first came in, and he did have a little allergy to that, so he was on some medication, but his fur is growing in quite nicely, and he's really a handsome fellow. He can be a little feisty, like some terriers are, so some dogs he gets along with and some he doesn't. We'd probably recommend him for an adult home or a home with teenagers. But he's a beautiful dog, and he shouldn't shed much either. So if you're interested in Harry or any of the other dogs at Buddy Dog, please call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Still to come, a local flu clinic is coming your way. But first, a look at your local forecast.
No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Share the love, not the flu this season, and participate in a senior flu clinic. This clinic will be open to Marlborough residents only and who are 50 years and older at the Marlborough Elementary School this Saturday, November 17th. Now, please bring your Medicare or supplemental insurance cards. Pneumonia and tetanus shots will also be available, and the clinic will be open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors will open at 9:45, and technicians, please ask that you wear short sleeves. Well, speaking of the flu season, the Marlborough Regional Chamber Business Connection is hosting a hat and mitten drive. This continuous event will take place through the month of November, with collections being donated to Marlborough Community Services. Donations of new hats and mittens can be dropped off at the following locations. The first is the law office of Cheryl Klein, the second floor of the Victoria Building, located at 277 Main Street. Next, the law office of Joseph J. Connolly, located at 74 Main Street. Next, Great Point Mortgage, Suite 106, located at 100 Granger Boulevard. And finally, Marlborough Chamber of Commerce, 11 Florence Street. Now, for additional information, please call Kathleen Gano at 508-251-2558. Well, you're too busy to bake for this Thanksgiving this year. Well, you can cross baking right off your list if you'd like to, since the Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School is hosting a giant bake sale the day before the holiday. From 9 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday, November 21st, pies, pastries, cookies, breads, and other baked goods will be offered for sale on a first-come, first-served basis. Shoppers can park and enter at the Epicurean Room restaurant entrance in the back of the school. Well, that sounds like a great idea if you're too busy to cook. But now let's take a look at what else is going on around town. Here's a look at your community calendar. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great Thanksgiving.
This program was provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax. The following program is provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax.
Coming up now on Marlborough This Week.
It gets to a point when the Board of Health came, it was an unsanitary situation, and once we got past that time where it had been 4 hours, we really had no choice but to close City Hall.
City Hall gets shut down. What caused this period of panic? Ward 5 City Councilor Maura Navin Webster has officially stepped down shortly after being re-elected. What's next for her seat come January? The results are in. The American Cancer Society is finally benefiting from our breast cancer pin sale. How much the city raised in just minutes. And they like to spend it, but young people don't know much about that green stuff. How Marlborough High School is making a change. And it's all straight ahead on this edition of Marlborough This Week. Hello everyone, welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin now with this week's top stories. City Hall closed early Monday afternoon in the wake of a sewage backup. The city was unable to clear the backup for about 4 hours, and the Board of Health made the decision to close the building at 4:30 p.m. Monday night. It all began at noon, and when the problem persisted, something had to be done.
We called in our crews from the DPW Water and Sewer Division to try to get through the blockage. There was a major blockage in the pipe. It caused backup of sewage into the first floor of City Hall. Obviously not a good condition. Then all of our sanitary facilities, all of our bathrooms in City Hall were not working, obviously because of the backup. Tried unsuccessfully for a couple of hours to clear it. Finally, a little bit after 4 o'clock, with the Board of Health and the building department, we came together and determined that the building was not inhabitable because it had been then almost 4 hours without sanitary facilities. We closed down about 4:30, sent all employees home. We were able to open the building back up for the City Council Finance meeting at 7 o'clock. I think you walked in that night and the building, really the odor of bleach permeated the building, but we were able to get everything cleaned and sanitized and be back open by 7. You can imagine what the first floor looked like with the backup of sewage and in the plaza behind City Hall. So I think we made the right decision. Unfortunately we did inconvenience some of our residents that needed to come in and conduct conduct business. But, you know, things happen, and we really didn't have any choice but to close City Hall.
The Marlborough Fire Department Fire Investigation Unit is looking for information on a fire that occurred on November 20th at 175 Church Street. A call was received by 911 reporting smoke in the basement of a multi-family home. Firefighters were able to quickly extinguish the fire upon arrival, which limited the damage made to the area. An estimate of the damage is not available at this time. Now, any information regarding this fire can be reported to the State Arson Hotline at 1-800-682-9229. A 40-year-old Natick resident threatened to kill a Marlborough officer on Sunday night. This threat came in the wake of an arrest for drunk driving. 57-year-old Michael Ross was arrested on Russell Street, and according to a police report, Ross appeared drunk at the time of arrest and threatened to get him and kill him. Ross is charged with an OUI, liquor, second offense, and threatening to commit murder. His court date will land on December 27th. Well, at an emotional press conference last week, one of your city councilors gave up her seat. Amongst local officials, friends, and colleagues, Ward 5 City Councilor Maureen Naven Webster held back her emotion and claimed it was the hardest decision she's ever had to make. So, what now?
This will go before the council, and it is in their hands to call a special election. The way the law is written, if there is going to need to be a special election, if there's only 6 months left in a term, then in fact there can be an appointment made to fill the vacant position. But given that this is an entire term, there will need to be a special election called. It's now in the hands of the City Council to determine when they call that special election and how they handle this.
The American Heart Association forbids employees from serving on elected boards because of the organization's strong lobbying presence. Well, nationally, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and here in the city, numerous inspirational individuals took last month to heart and put early detection on the forefront. The sale of the breast cancer pins were just a part of the effort, but the city is proud to announce its final amount raised.
It is my pleasure to be able to present to the American Cancer Society the check in the amount of $1,540.
As we look to the public, we ask them to think about getting a mammogram if they haven't. Obviously, lots of people did listen to that because we're having great numbers of people come in and benefit from the new technology that digital mammography has to offer women.
All of us, our goal was if we helped one woman raise awareness and have early detection and increase her chances of survival, we've succeeded in our goal for the month. And I think we can honestly say we've probably done that.
Now, just because the month is over doesn't mean that the awareness has to stop. Continue to educate yourself in early detection and about new developments within breast cancer awareness. Well, Santa gave the reindeer a break on Friday night when he came blazing down Main Street on a fire engine with sirens blaring and lights flashing. Mayor Nancy Stevens and Santa himself helped illuminate Union Common for the Christmas season as they lit the holiday tree. The festivities included performances by marching bands and choruses, a petting zoo, and a magician. This event took place on Friday, November 30th at Union Common, and in case you couldn't make it, as always, we were there to catch all the holiday action. So stay tuned next week for all the highlights. Well, according to Marlborough Postmaster Nick Zalikas, it's never too early to start planning for overseas holiday mailings. December 4th is suggested for first-class cards and letters, December 11th for first-class cards and letters for priority mail, December 12th for express mail international, December 17th for express mail international to all countries except Canada, and December 19th for Global Express. Now, all of these dates are cutoffs to ensure that your mail is delivered on time. For any of your holiday mailing questions, please check out the Postal Service's website at USPS.com. The Department of Public Health has now confirmed 38 cases of influenza across the Bay State. The department encourages all to get your flu shot this winter season. Now, in case you're at home thinking, should I even get one? Here's Marlborough Public Health Nurse Nancy Cleary with a tip.
Usually what happens is people say, well, I've never gotten a flu shot before and I don't really see the need for it. But if you've ever gotten the flu and have really been sick with the flu, that's when people start to get the flu shot yearly. And then from there on, they usually get the flu shot. They estimate about 36,000 individuals die of the flu every year, and there's thousands that are hospitalized. So it's really an important vaccine to consider each year. Unfortunately, we have to get it each year because the strains change.
Well, speaking of flu shots, there are some new faces roaming the halls at Marlborough Hospital. One of them is a cardiologist who's eager to grow his career in our city. The hospital's new addition is certainly good for the heart, but it also looks like a great fit for the community. Here's Dan Corcoran with more.
There is a new face at Marlborough Hospital these days, and he's got a knack for cardiology.
Something that's really fun to do for me, seeing patients who are quite ill from their heart failure and trying to get them better to the point where they can function better again.
Dr. Eric Nelson has recently joined the hospital's cardiovascular services department. The new staff cardiologist who lives in Westboro is excited to be part of this team.
It's a challenging disease because there's several different causes. You have to identify the cause, and then the treatment can be quite challenging as well. It can range from simple medications to even heart transplant.
Nelson has an impressive medical background, and he brings all of it to an already impressive cardiac department. Marlborough Hospital is known for quality care, especially for those who've recently undergone heart surgery. The patients are of all ages.
Our youngest patient was a 25-year-old heart transplant. Our oldest patient that still participates and has been coming for 10 years is 99 years old. Still drives her own car and still is very physically active.
The hospital hosts a 4-phase rehab program helping cardiac patients recover and live a heart-healthy lifestyle. And though pushing the body to exercise soon after heart surgery seems daunting, the benefits are huge.
They're motivated, they're here. Some of them come in and complain, oh, my achy bones and stuff, but they're winners just by showing up, because how many people are not here that should be here?
Dr. Nelson says there are ways to keep yourself heart healthy.
Eat healthy, don't exercise, don't smoke, and there's nothing we can do with your genetics, so try to modify those things.
Even more, Nelson encourages young people to explore the possibility of a career in cardiology.
It's a great field. It's really a lot of fun. A lot of new advances being done every day practically, but you really need to stick to it and get sleep when you can.
At Marlborough Hospital, Dan Corcoran for Marlborough This Week.
Now more than ever, it's time to take your own health in your own hands. If you'd like some more information about Marlborough Hospital and what it has to offer you, please log on to their website at umassmemorial.org. Well, students at Marlborough's public schools can forget about those cardigans and plaid skirts as the school policy subcommittee voted 2-0 rejecting a mandatory uniform policy. At the recent school committee meeting, the decision was announced.
After some public comment as well as discussion around the table on the motion that mandatory uniforms are not appropriate in the Marlborough Public Schools, the subcommittee voted 2-0 behind that.
School committee member Joe Delano introduced the idea back in September. Well, in addition, on a lighter note, at the meeting, the Kane Elementary School had a musical presentation prepared for the committee, which particularly impressed one member. After viewing the presentation, Mayor Nancy Stevens announced that she would like to invite the choir to sing the national anthem at the 2008 inauguration on January 7th. Now, despite all the fun and excitement, the mayor did have one message, although, to the residents watching.
For our high school chorus that's listening, this is not taking anything away from you. Usually we have a soloist. We're going to have a concert this time. So it's going to be a day that's going to be filled with a lot of music, and I think you guys have done such a great job coming to school early and being so dedicated to doing this, and Mr. Cicerone for being such a great teacher. I'm really looking forward to seeing you on January 7th. So congratulations, and we'll see you that day, okay?
Coming up next on Marlborough This Week, more than 1,000 residents enjoyed an annual charity gala, what it was and how it turned out. Plus, highlights from this year's Veterans Day Parade. You just don't want to miss a minute. We'll be right back.
It's getting cold out, and I would like to make you aware of the correct way on how to use space heaters. Space heaters, if not used correctly, can cause fires. Give space heaters space. Keep them at the very least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, including yourself. Unplug heaters when you're not using them, or when you're leaving your home, and especially when you're going to bed. Remember, space heaters are to be used for heating space only. As always, be smart, Be aware, be fire safe.
Last week, 266 seniors at the Marlborough High School received a major dose of reality as they learned about real life at the annual reality fair. Now, students realized life isn't so sweet once they hit the real world. The 4th annual 2007 Reality Fair was recently held at Marlborough High School. Students had a major wake-up call that was louder than any alarm clock they have ever heard before.
The reality fair is a way to get the kids a dose of reality before they graduate.
The reality fair was developed to educate teens in personal finance before they enter the real world. Volunteers from the Marlborough business community staffed the tables at the event, which each student must visit to complete a month's budget.
We try to put it in a fun setting. It's an interactive board game, if you will, so that they go from place to place and they have the necessities of life. They also have temptations.
The goal is for students to realize that a good paying job is essential to cover the costs of their living expenses.
They're seeing what their expenses would be, what housing would be, what insurance would be, vehicles, how much if they need to have transportation, all those different things, their utilities.
We had $1,000 on a house, a car, and now we still need to do like utilities and everything, and there's just so much to pay for. I guess it's not real when your parents are paying for everything.
This is a win-win opportunity for all that are concerned with financial literacy. The students learn to make better financial choices, businesses meet their future of Marlborough in a positive light, and the society as a whole benefits from having more financially responsible young adults.
They appreciate mom and dad, that's for sure. After this, they realize all the expenses and maybe why mom and dad are saying, oh, this bill or whatever, they might hear something at home. So I think that they have a better idea of, a lot of people come in and they think they're going to have their own house and all that, and then when on their way out, they end up with 3 roommates or 4 roommates because they realize the cost of housing.
One of the stops is a car dealership, and right next to that table stands Susie Tordella.
I'm here to encourage these young people to think about the radical possibility of not owning a car. What about air pollution? What about congestion? What about global warming? However, it does hit their pocketbook, and right now they're thinking about how to save money.
Students got to interact with their mayor, Nancy Stevens, but unfortunately, she was at the wheel of fortune or misfortune.
It just shows them that even though they go around and they plan for everything, life has unanticipated, unexpected expenses.
Statistics show that up to 85% of graduating seniors are not financially literate, a scary thought for your young ones.
More and more schools are getting into it because they're realizing suddenly the importance of it, especially in the last, 10 years, the bankruptcy rate in this country has been soaring.
At the recent school committee meeting, the fair was praised for all its hard work and dedication. The reality fair is just at the beginning as Representative Steve LeDuc is making financial literacy mandatory in the schools.
If that were to happen, we wouldn't have to do this. But in the meantime, we're trying to plug a hole. Just give them a little dose of reality before they graduate.
More than 1,000 residents enjoyed the next successful annual Evening of Giving, which was held on Thursday, November 15th at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel. As every year, all proceeds will benefit Roland's House, the local homeless shelter here in Marlborough. Now, all who participate in the event cannot be thanked enough, as their efforts make this amazing event possible.
I actually want to take this opportunity to thank the City of Marlborough and how they respond to the needs of people who are very needy. This event has been going on for 18 years, and everybody in the city responds to it. It's a wonderful event, and tonight, as I'm looking around and looking at the food booths, running out of food, and people are enjoying the taste of Marlborough, so to speak, and Hudson. I just, again, really want to thank the people that support this event.
We're just excited to be here year after year, and hopefully we'll continue doing this as part of our community service activities.
And we're so delighted because we have a tremendous amount of things that were here donated tonight. Not only did people give money, but they took the extra effort to bring in to us some things that are truly needed, not only in the shelter, but in our food pantries. So we're really, really grateful.
We're having a great time, and if you've missed it, please join us next year. We will be doing this again next year at the same time.
Well, speaking of giving, the Veterans Day Parade graced the streets of Marlborough this past month on Sunday, November 11th. Parade participants included veterans, local scouting groups, and members of the Marlborough High School and Middle School marching bands. Now, here are some highlights from that very special day.
And it's wonderful that the sun is shining down on this beautiful community as the chimes remind us at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month that we ended a war in World War I.
It's a great tribute to the men and women of this community who have served to protect us. I think it's very fitting today that our speaker, who's going to be introduced shortly, is our superintendent of schools and a veteran from the U.S. Navy. I think it shows our community and our leadership and how we value the people, men and women that serve for us on a daily basis.
I am privileged and humbled to be here today as we honor 25 million Americans who have strengthened our nation with their service and sacrifice. They are known and unknown, in hallowed graves, both marked and unmarked. And they pervasively remind us of the terrible tragedy of men and women not learning to live together. And they remind us that the most costly peace is not as costly as the least expensive war.
Well, it was certainly a day to remember. But still to come on this edition of Marlborough This Week. A special guest will be joining us to let us know how to have a greener Christmas this year. But first,
the traditional Turkey Day game and a playoff game that comes down to the final play. Stay tuned for all the details.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
The key to a happy Thanksgiving is simple: beat Hudson. The Marlborough Panthers treated their fans to an early Turkey Day treat with an offensive barrage, scoring 42 points en route to their second straight Thanksgiving win. At the Morgan Bowl, where Josh Carter would finish his spectacular senior season in style. On the second play from scrimmage, Carter rolls out and finds a wide open Graham Mason for a 55-yard score, putting the Panthers in the lead. After a Hudson score tied the game, Carter got into the end zone, his first of 3 rushing touchdowns in the game, and the Panthers regained the lead 14-7. Late in the first half, with the Panthers up 21-14, George Jordan, who had 5 catches on the day and went over 100 yards, backs his way into the end zone after a great individual effort, and the Panthers were in front to stay. Carter added his final rushing TD of the year, looking like Vince Young did at Texas, moving effortlessly through the defense. And in the fourth quarter, he connected with his brother, A.C. Carter, on a 63-yard bomb. Josh Carter was the game MVP, throwing for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and adding 155 yards on the ground. The Panthers rolled 42-28, finishing the season 7-4. The Assabet Aztecs had a school record 10 wins as they took to turf at Foley Stadium last Tuesday in the Division 3A CMAS playoffs. The Aztecs' opponent was Valley Tech, also 10-1, the one loss coming to the Aztecs, and the winner would play on Super Bowl Saturday for the 3A state championship. Jake Swanson put the Aztecs ahead 6-0 in the second quarter with a 6-yard run. The failed conversion, however, would become more significant later in the game. Valley Tech would score the next 14 points and carry that lead late into the fourth quarter. That's when James Mahoney kept a 12-play, 63-yard drive in the final minutes of the game to bring the Aztecs within 2. However, the two-point conversion failed again, and the Aztecs trailed 14-12 with under a minute to go. Basically, the Aztecs needed a miracle. They got one, though, when Lucas Pinheiro recovered the onside kick at his own 48-yard line. Quarterback Alex Moore then calmly completed passes to Justin Flanagan and Steve Parker to move the Aztecs down to the 9-yard line with 8 seconds left. This, however, is where the Aztec magic ran out. The team attempted a field goal, but the snap was high, and the kick never got off. The clock ran out, and the Aztec season was over. Tough blow for the Aztecs, but the team has nothing to hang their heads about, as they won their second league title in 3 years and finished the year 10-2. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rosenau, and we'll see you at the game.
Thank you, Brendan. Well, this year, Americans will send nearly 2 billion holiday cards, use more than 38,000 miles of ribbon, and leave millions of Christmas trees on the curb. Now, does this mean you should feel guilty for having a great time? Not necessarily. Everyone should try, although, to be as eco-fabulous as you can. And to help us understand this better, Climate Action Network co-founder Jennifer Boudry joins us now to reveal a few secrets for an environmentally friendly but still festive holiday season. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thanks for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
So how can we have a festive holiday season but still be helpful to the environment? What's one thing we can do?
Well, one of the first things you can do is use wrapping that you can recycle every year. There's some beautiful bags and beautiful boxes that you can use again and again every year. It saves packaging.
Yep. It's all that paper that you roll up and throw away.
Right. You want to
tosses it out the window.
Exactly.
So if we want to be helpful when we buy a tree, how do we do that?
Buy a local tree. It reduces the amount of gas that's needed to transport it, and then when you're finished with it, recycle it.
For mulch, right?
Mulch, exactly.
So if we want to help the environment with cards, how do we do that with Christmas cards?
With Christmas cards, you can use recycled paper to make your own card, or buy cards from recycled paper, or buy a card from Sierra Club. We're an environmental organization that's really sending a message.
Excellent. And then lights, that's a major thing. I know the Rockefeller tree in New York is using these LED lights. What's that about?
LEDs are amazingly energy efficient, and if you want to buy lights, buy LED lights. They use a fraction of the electricity. If you don't have LED lights, turn your lights on when you come home and turn them off when you go to bed.
Save electricity that way.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that in December, the Climate Action Network is doing something amazing at the post office. What's that about?
Yeah. We have a reusable bag campaign. We have these beautiful bags that we're giving away on Saturday mornings. So if you're looking for a reusable shopping bag that you can use at the grocery store, at other stores, it's really beautiful. It helps the environment. So please come in and get one at the post office on Saturday mornings in December.
And they're sturdy. They're great bags.
Oh, the handles are wonderful. Don't
so
ever
heavy
break.
things, yep, never breaks. So it's a good thing. All right, and if people are watching right now and they want to know more, what website can they go to?
Please come to www.greenmarlborough.org.
Thank you, Jen. We really appreciate all this information. Go green, right?
Go green. Thanks,
We'll see you soon. Now let's head over to the animal shelter in Sudbury. That's where Gina has the animal up for adoption this week.
Thanks, Kristen. Today we have Blue, and Blue's really just a young pup. We think probably a German Shepherd mix. He's about a year old, he's active, he's friendly, he's good with everyone, including children. He's going to make a great family pet with some training and lots of exercise. He gets along with other dogs. Not sure about cats. He's really just a friendly dog that the owner decided he was a little too big for her. He weighs about 40 pounds or so, and he'll be ready to be adopted next week after he's neutered. If you have any questions about Blue or you'd like to meet him, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Still to come, the countdown to Christmas is on. How you can score a great gift by helping a great cause. But first, here's a look at a chilly forecast. Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The days, hours, minutes, and seconds are flying by, but there's still plenty of time before Santa comes to town. Each week until Christmas, I'll be presenting you with a gift that you can purchase that will not only make everyone happy, but will also donate its proceeds to a charity. The first gift I have for you is Christmas cards. Not everyone sends them as a gift or a greeting, but now you can purchase 40 charity Christmas cards for less than 10 cents per card, which will benefit the PDSA charity. The PDSA is the UK's leading veterinary charity caring for the pets of people in need. Now, the charity provides free treatment to more than 4,000 sick and injured animals every day. To purchase these cards, for more information, log on to their website at pdsa.org.uk. Well, the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library will be presenting their annual Gala Holiday Concert. The festive event will feature the Assabet Valley Chamber Singers. The event is free and is open to all who wish to come and will be held at the Marlborough Public Library. Now let's take a moment to see what else is going on at the library in the next upcoming weeks. For more information, please call the library at 508-624-6900. Before we go, we want to hear from you. Do you think you have the best decorated house this year? Well, we want to know who you are. Upload a picture of your house and send it to us, and we may just show the whole city your hard work and dedication to this holiday. Just email your pictures to news@WMCT-TV.com, and you may just see your house on this show. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. As always, we thank you for joining us. I'm Kristen Doucette. We'll see you next week.
This program was provided in part by Rich Anzalone's Remax.